Humans have never stopped asking one thing: how far can we push the limits of our own design? Long before modern surgery or tattoos became trends, some people altered their bodies in ways that defied logic and comfort. Some changed themselves for their faith, some for appearance, and others just to feel different from those who couldn't see them for who they were. Their legacy isn't just about surprise or wonder. It shows how deeply humans will go to express themselves. So here we are again, sharing 15 unforgettable figures from history who transformed their bodies in ways no one could ignore. Number 15. Saartjie Baartman. Saartjie Baartman, later known in Europe as the Hottentot Venus, became one of the most tragic figures of the 19th century. Born in the Kamdeboe area of the Dutch Cape Colony to a Cuco and Josa family, she lost her parents early and spent her youth working on European-owned farms. By the 1790s, she had moved to Cape Town, where she worked as a nursemaid and washerwoman before being persuaded by Hendrik Caesars and surgeon Alexander Dunlop to travel to Europe. In 1810, she was taken to London and displayed publicly for her unusually large buttocks, which drew crowds and controversy amid the growing abolitionist movement. After brief fame in England, she was taken to France in 1814, where her exploitation deepened as she became an object of both entertainment and scientific racism. Saartjie died in Paris on December 29, 1815, around age 26. Her body later dissected and misused by scientists obsessed with racial difference. Number 14. Elaine Davidson. Elaine Davidson became a global sensation for transforming her body into a living artwork through thousands of piercings. By May 2000, Guinness World Records confirmed 462 piercings, with 192 on her face alone, and by August 2001, the number had risen to 720. During her 2005 performance at the Edinburgh Festival, reports recorded nearly 3,950 piercings, including 500 in her genital area, more than on any other part of her body. In recognition of her dedication, Guinness awarded her a lifetime title for achieving 4,225 piercings, with the total weight of her jewelry estimated at nearly 3 kilograms. By February 2009, her count had reached 6,005, and in a 2023 interview, she revealed her goal of hitting 20,000. Beyond body art, Elaine has practiced divination since the late 1990s, offering tarot, crystal, palm, and tea leaf readings. In 2024, she released her official biography, Elaine Davidson, Holier Than Thou, with Johnny Strange, chronicling her extraordinary life. Number 13. Khaled Alsai. Khaled Alsai, born in Syria in 1970, grew up surrounded by music, painting, and calligraphy, which deeply shaped his artistic path. By the time he was 18, he had already gained recognition as a skilled calligrapher, later earning a master's degree in fine arts from the University of Damascus in 1998. His career flourished internationally, with exhibitions across Europe and the Middle East, and honors including recognition as one of the top 10 calligraphers at the Tehran International Festival of Calligraphy in 1997, a distinction award in France, and the Diwani Jali Style Prize in Istanbul in 2001. In 2002, he began teaching at the University of Michigan, later holding workshops in Chicago and Boston. Alsai's art transforms Arabic letters into emotional and abstract visual rhythms, drawing inspiration from landscapes, architecture, and human movement. His expressive calligraphic style unites spiritual symbolism, cultural heritage, and pure aesthetic beauty, making language itself a visual art form. And if you thought that was unbelievable, wait till you see the next one. Number 12. Julia Gnusa. Julia Gnus was known around the world as the Illustrated Lady, a title she earned for covering nearly her entire body in tattoos. Born in 1955, she lived in Foothill Ranch, California, and developed a rare condition called porphyria in her 30s, which caused painful blisters and scars whenever sunlight touched her skin. To hide the marks, a doctor once suggested tattooing her skin in a flesh tone, but the idea didn't work. Instead, Julia decided to turn her scars into art. Over the years, she filled 95% of her body, including her face, with colorful tattoos of cartoons, movie stars, and even her own image. The tattoos didn't stop her skin from blistering, but they gave her confidence and a unique beauty of her own. Her remarkable look earned her a Guinness World Record, appearances on Ripley's Believe It or Not, and even a cameo in Aerosmith's Pink video. She passed away in 2016. Number 11. Lina Cavalieri. Lina Cavalieri became one of the earliest figures to link beauty, fame, and the pursuit of physical perfection. Celebrated as an opera singer and actress in the early 1900s, she was admired not only for her voice, but for her striking looks, which were considered the standard of feminine beauty in her time. Born in Italy in the late 19th century, Cavalieri rose from a modest background to perform on Europe's grandest stages and eventually appeared in silent films. Her fascination with appearance led her to experiment with several facial surgeries, making her one of the first public figures known to have undergone cosmetic procedures. She often spoke about beauty as both an art and a form of self-expression, inspiring future generations to view plastic surgery as a means of transformation rather than vanity. Lina's legacy endures as an early icon of modern beauty culture, a woman who turned self-reinvention into part of her fame. Just when you think you've seen it all, the next person proves you haven't. Number 10. The Apatani women. In the remote Zero Valley of Arunachal Pradesh, India, the Apatani women became known for their striking facial tattoos and wooden nose plugs that once defined their tribal identity. The markings, called tippei, consisted of dark vertical lines inked with pig fat and soot across the forehead and chin, while the yaping hurlo were large wooden plugs inserted into their nostrils. According to legend, this unusual tradition began as a form of protection meant to make Apatani women appear less attractive to raiders from neighboring tribes who often kidnapped them. Over generations, the practice evolved into a proud symbol of beauty and belonging within the tribe. However, the custom began to decline in the 1970s after being discouraged and later banned by the government, which viewed it as outdated and restrictive for women's employment. Today, only the elderly women still wear these marks, preserving the last living traces of a once powerful cultural expression. Number 9. William Stubbins Firth. William Stubbins Firth, an American medical student in the early 1800s, became known for one of the most extreme self-experiments in medical history. Born in 1784, he studied at the University of Pennsylvania, where the devastating yellow fever epidemic of 1793 had killed nearly 10% of Philadelphia's population. Driven to understand the disease, Firth believed it wasn't contagious but rather caused by heat and exhaustion during the summer months. To prove his theory, he exposed himself directly to infected patients' bodily fluids, smearing vomit into open cuts, dripping it into his eyes, inhaling fumes from heated samples, and even drinking it undiluted. When he failed to develop symptoms, he concluded that yellow fever could not spread between people. Although his reasoning was flawed, as the fluids came from patients no longer carrying the virus, his bold experiments showed an early scientific curiosity later resolved decades after his death when mosquitoes were identified as the true carriers. Number 8. The Kayan Lahui women. The Kayan Lahui women, an indigenous group from Myanmar, are renowned for their striking tradition of wearing brass coils around their necks, a practice that gives the appearance of extraordinary elongation. Beginning around the age of 5, young girls start with a few rings, and as they grow older, more coils are added, gradually pressing down the collarbone and ribs to create the illusion of a longer neck. Within their culture, this feature symbolizes beauty, grace, and social standing, and is deeply tied to their sense of identity. Legends surrounding the custom suggest that it may have begun as protection from tiger attacks or to resemble the mythical dragon, a creature held sacred in their folklore. Many Kayan Lawi families later migrated to the border areas of Thailand due to unrest in Myanmar. Today, the tradition endures, though often within tourist villages, where cultural preservation and exploitation exist in an uneasy balance. That was wild, but the next person takes things in a whole new direction. Number 7. Ilse Koch. Ilse Koch, born Margarete Ilse Köhler in Dresden, Germany, grew up in a modest Protestant household with 2 brothers. After completing her schooling, she trained in secretarial work and found employment in local offices during Germany's unstable years following World War I. In 1932, she joined the Nazi Party and later met SS officer Karl Otto Koch, whom she married after proving her Aryan ancestry under SS racial policies. The couple lived at Buchenwald concentration camp, where Karl served as commandant, and Ilse became infamous for her cruelty toward prisoners. Witnesses testified that she oversaw forced labor, ordered beatings, and even commissioned an extravagant indoor riding arena built by inmates. After the war, she was accused of selecting tattooed prisoners for execution to create decorative items, though direct evidence remained disputed. Convicted for her brutality, she was imprisoned until 1967, when she took her own life at 60, leaving behind a note to her son expressing despair and resignation. Number 6. Hori Taisuke. The name Hori Taisuke carries more myth than fact, but it perfectly represents Japan's long and complex relationship with traditional tattoo art. The prefix hori, meaning to carve, was used by master tattooists, or horishi, whose craft known as irizumi flourished during the Edo and Meiji periods. Inspired by woodblock prints, their designs covered entire bodies with scenes of dragons, warriors, and legends, especially among laborers and firefighters. When the Meiji government banned tattoos to appear more modern to the West, the art form slipped underground but never disappeared. Foreign visitors, including future monarchs like King George V and Tsar Nicholas II, became fascinated by these striking designs. By the late 1800s, photographs of fully tattooed Japanese men spread globally, immortalizing irizumi as a blend of devotion, endurance, and rebellion against conformity. The next one pushes the boundaries of body transformation even further. Word count 160. Number 5. The Mercy Tribe. The Mercy Tribe, living in Ethiopia's Omo River Valley, are among the most recognized indigenous groups in Africa, known for their striking cultural traditions and deep connection to their land. Residing in the country's southwest, they lead a semi-nomadic lifestyle, herding cattle while also cultivating sorghum, maize, and beans along the Omo and Mago rivers. For Mercy women, beauty and social standing are expressed through the wearing of large clay or wooden lip plates, first inserted during puberty and gradually enlarged over time. The size of these plates often reflects status and can influence the number of cattle offered as a bride price. Both men and women also practice scarification, using small cuts to create patterns symbolizing identity and courage. Though modern influences have reached their region, the Mercy continue to preserve their unique customs, which remain a vivid reflection of resilience, pride, and cultural continuity within Ethiopia's tribal heritage. You might want to brace yourself because the next one is even harder to believe. Number 4. Rolf Buchholz. Rolf Buchholz has become famous around the world for turning his body into a true work of art. Originally from Germany, he didn't start his journey into body modification until adulthood, but once he did, he took it further than almost anyone else. Over the years, he has collected thousands of piercings across his body, including hundreds in more sensitive areas, along with tattoos, stretched earlobes, and subdermal implants that give his skin a unique shape. His bold look has earned him the Guinness World Record for being the most pierced man alive. Despite his intense appearance, Rolf is known for his friendly and calm personality, often meeting fans and sharing his story at body art events around the world. To him, every piercing and mark is more than decoration. It's a way to express freedom, confidence, and the idea that beauty can exist in many different forms. Number 3, Mary Ann Bevan. Mary Ann Bevan's story is one of strength, love, and heartbreaking circumstances. She grew up in a big family in East London and worked as a nurse before marrying Thomas Bevan in 1902. The couple had 4 children, but after Thomas died suddenly in 1914, Mary Ann was left to care for them alone. In her early 30s, she developed acromegaly, a condition that caused her face and body to grow abnormally, bringing constant pain and unwanted attention. To support her children, she entered an Ugliest Woman contest and won, which led to a performing job at Coney Island's Dreamland Sideshow in 1920. Though often labeled for her looks, she was known as a kind, gentle woman who never wanted pity. Years after her death, her image was used on a greeting card, sparking public outrage and reminding the world of her dignity and determination to care for her family. Number 2. Charles Eisenman's tattooed performers. Charles Eisenman became one of the most influential photographers of the Victorian era, known for immortalizing the faces of 19th-century sideshow performers through his striking cabinet cards. Based in New York City's Bowery district, his studio captured the height of public fascination with human oddities, producing portraits of well-known figures such as Captain Constantinus, the man tattooed from head to toe. During the late 1880s, his carte de visite gained immense popularity among the middle class, reflecting the era's mix of curiosity and spectacle. Though some of his subjects were embellished for dramatic effect, Eisenman often worked directly with Barnum and Bailey, photographing icons like Major Tom Thumb. His work became a visual record of an age obsessed with difference and display, blending artistry with exploitation. Decades later, his legacy was revived through the 1979 book Monsters of the Gilded Age, and his apprentice, Frank Wendt, continued the tradition of freak show photography that Eisenman helped define. Number 1. Lucky Diamond Rich. Lucky Diamond Rich is known around the world for taking body art further than anyone else ever has. Born in 1971 as Gregory Paul McLaren, he grew up in New Zealand and later became a street performer famous for his daring acts, like juggling on a unicycle and swallowing swords. What truly made him stand out, though, was his lifelong commitment to tattoos. What began with a small juggling club design eventually became a full-body masterpiece, covering every inch of his skin, even the inside of his mouth, ears, and eyelids. His tattoos took over 1,000 hours to complete and involved hundreds of artists, earning him the Guinness World Record in 2006 as the most tattooed person alive. Later in life, Rich learned of his Quandamooka and Mununjali heritage and began helping Indigenous men in recovery at the Galliamble Center in Victoria, showing that his journey was as much about humanity as it was about art. That brings us to the end of our journey through 16 remarkable people who reshaped their bodies and history in ways few could ever imagine. Their stories remind us that identity, art, and courage often live far beyond what's considered normal. If you enjoyed exploring these fascinating lives, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what's next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next incredible story.